Hello and good morning, music appreciation students. This is one of my famous rants, this time about the formatting of your writing assignment submissions. I find as I grade your submissions that many of you are just writing very short paragraphs that don't really address all of the issues in the writing assignment topics. So I sent out, by way of the news forum, a post asking you to address each one of the issues in the topics and to separate them either by numbering them or by separating them by way of paragraphs. Many of you have done that. However, many of you have not. And I want to make sure that you understand that I'm serious about this and that I will take that into consideration when I'm grading the writing assignments. Let's take a look at writing assignment 6. Which I believe is already past due. I think it was one of the March 5th writing assignments, I believe. Anyway, here were the three components, and if you recall, now each week, in addition to telling you what to work on for the week, I'm also giving you tips on how to submit your writing assignments. And so here's what happened with this assignment for week 6. It divided into three parts. The first part, compare and contrast oratorio and opera. So you should do your research based on the text in the book and any text online that you might want to use, and you should write a concise few sentences comparing and contrasting opera and oratorio. Comparing would mean how they are basically the same, and contrasting would be how they are different. So that's the first one. Compare and contrast oratorio and opera. Then, skip a space, do another paragraph. Here was the second part of the topic. Refer to the listening examples to help make your point. And then there was a little parentheses. Remember, this lesson extends into the Viennese and Romantic periods. So you can go that far to use the listening examples to help you make your point. So once you look at your comparing and contrasting operas and oratorios, then refer to titles in the listening examples to make your point. Like, this opera and this oratorio seem to be comparable, pretty much alike, and this opera and this oratorio seem to be contrasting, so they would be pretty much different. All right, and then finally, the last part of the topic is, in your answer, consider whether the later operas follow the traditions of the early operas by Monteverdi. And you know, Monteverdi was very prolific an opera composer, particularly in the mid-17th century in Venice. And so comparing the operas of Monteverdi, and we have a listening example from Orfeo, I believe, with some of the later operas, how are they different? Consider whether, as opera progressed, did it continue the traditions of Monteverdi, or did it go in another direction? Did it do something different? So, what I'm hoping you'll do, or you did in that submission, is to separate your three answers. They don't have to be long, but they need to be separated and focused on those three topics, those three parts of the overall topic. And if you do that, then I'm sure you will get full marks for your submissions. Separate them either by numbers or by paragraphs, just so that I can see that you're dealing with the first issue, you're dealing with the second issue, you're dealing with the third issue, and then you'll get full marks. So please take it seriously. Some of you, I don't think, are reading the news forum posts because I see that I ask you to do things and you're not doing them. So maybe it's just because I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying that it's just because you haven't been reading the news forum posts. Remember, you should read it every day. There's no telling when one of those things are going to pop up. But certainly on Tuesdays, because that's when I'll put the work for the week up, and that's when I'll put the tip of the week for the writing assignment. So please check as often as you can. Keep rolling. Spring break is coming up. And we're already into the next segment. There's only 2 more segments to go. The next due date is April 2nd, and then the final due date is April 29th. So we're coming up to the end game now. Second thing I want to talk to you about are concert reports. I want you to go to live concerts. You can go to them if you're in Valdosta. You can go to them here in Whitehead Auditorium. I've had several questions about jazz and classical concerts. All of the concerts I would consider to be classical concerts except those that are clearly labeled jazz concerts. We have a jazz ensemble that gives a concert, we have a new jazz ensemble that gives concerts, and we have student jazz combos that give concerts. Everything else I would consider to be classical concert. So you can separate them out that way, and just make sure you get your concert reports in. Video concerts are not eligible for your reports. You need to go to a live event. And if you're not quite sure what you're supposed to do with your concert reports, there is an article online about how to do the concert reports. So I hope that you will take advantage of all that. Meanwhile, I've taken much too long. I'm over 6 minutes already. I apologize. Keep working hard, and remember to format those writing assignment submissions so that I can give you full marks for each one. And that's all. I'll see you online.